Hi everybody. As you may know, I work at a public junior high, and our school district decided to cancel school today because of hazardous weather. So I did have to go into work for a few hours this morning, but now I'm home and I get to stitch today, and I thought that'd be a great time to make a video. We didn't get a lot of snow. We just have a skiff. Our school district is quite large, and north of us, that part of the school district got dumped on with snow, and we do have a bitter wind chill today, and the storm is supposed to last all day. So first time in the 26 years that I've had a child in this school district that we have had a snow day. It's kind of a historic event, so I'm excited. Okay, first things first, a little bit of housekeeping. My last video, I was doing all the math to help you figure out how much floss you would need to do a project, especially if it's a monochromatic project. And remember when I said do your own math? That's because you can't trust my math, right? Okay, when I said I was converting the inches to yards, I said that I figured out that I would need 14,884 inches of floss, one strand. And so I said, convert that to yards, divide by 3 is 413. Well, obviously, if you're converting inches to yards, you divide by 36 because there are 36 inches in a yard. But the answer I gave you is still correct. 14,884 divided by 36 still comes out to be 413 yards and a little bit. So the answer was right. I just didn't give you the right way to get there. Hopefully that made sense to you, which is why you need to do your own math and don't trust my math. And my other reminder would be just pay attention to how many strands are in whatever kind of floss you're using. I'm using 12-stranded silk. That's 12 strands in there. So I only, at the end of the video, I told you that I'll need about 7 skeins of floss. But if you're using DMC that has 6 strands, that's only half as much. So then you would need, if you we're going off my calculations, which you shouldn't, that would be twice as much. That would be 14 skeins of floss. There are some floss that comes in 8 strands. So you need to pay attention to how many strands you're going to be using. Do your 100 stitch test patch and do your own math. Because as Steph would say, 'cause math. So sorry I led you astray last time. Okay. Let's just jump right into whips. I did have a new start. This is where I'm actually sitting and stitching today in my nice sunny room. So I'm not very organized. I did start the Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along for 2020 called A Family Patchwork Sampler. This is not a free stitch along. This pattern does, you have to purchase the pattern from the website, Modern Folk Embroidery. But he does show you what the whole thing is going to look like when it's finished. I love the houses on it. I love the tree of life in the middle. But it will come to your email one section per month, the actual pattern. So we have we had January's, and then we just barely got February's. I'm almost done with the January section. I am using Mrs. Sedas silk that I ordered from Spain. She has a website on Etsy. If you go to Etsy, it's called Mrs. Sedas, Missus Sedas, I think. But she sells silk by the hank. So I bought a hank of silk from her called SuperNova. That's this color. It's very orange and yellows and reds. It's very red, orange, tiny bit of yellow. I already cut my hank apart. This is how I like to keep it in all these bags. But as you can see, I'll take some out of here. It goes from a very red, orange, got some yellow in it. You can see the yellow right there, to a lighter orange. It's a beautiful color. I love it. But that is where I am so far, almost done with the January section. I will be, for the center section, that is this Tree of Life section, I will be using, not that color of green. Let's see if we can find the correct color. Classic Colorworks Belle Soie Silk in Granny Smith. And I'm going to use that for that center section where the Tree of Life is. And I think it will be so pretty. I'm doing mine on 25 count white even weave. 1 strand over 1 thread, so 1 over 1. Really enjoying that one. Let's put that mess over there. Okay. And I'm also doing the Linen and Threads 2020 Stitch Along, which is called Friends and Family, I believe. Friends and Family, Quaker. This is 40 count Alabaster linen. I'm using some silks on it in several colors of blue, and then this butterfly right here is Silken Colors Alpine Grasses. These are both this 2 different dye lots of Belle Soie Blue Lagoon, a darker version and a lighter version. And I'm still trying to decide. I really like the darker version, so I'm still trying to decide what colors I'm going to actually use. I did order some this Dinky Dyes Midnight is a really dark blue, so I might use that for most of it. And then I have a lot of Blue Lagoon in the lighter version, so I'll use some of that as well. So I'll probably end up with just several different shades of blue, a darker blue on here, which I think will be lovely. And then I'm just going to use this green Alpine Grasses. It's kind of a green and gray in a couple of key spots in the sampler. That is a free stitch along on the Linen and Threads website. So if you just Google search Linen and Threads, I think it's linenandthreads.com. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, it's something close to that. You'll find it. And then just go to his 2020 Stitch Along, and the free downloads are right there. We've got the Januaries. This is the January section, and February section is already out. There's also a Facebook group for this Linen and Threads Stitch Along, and there's already, I don't know, 50 people on there that have already finished the February section, and you can see it in all the different colors. There are so many different colorways people are doing it in. It is just gorgeous and fun to see all the different colors. Victorian Charm is so close to being done. Got a window behind me today. This is what it's looking like. It's all done down here. I finished all of these flowers. I just have this little bit to go right here, and then I need to come back and do the back stitching just for this part and this part up here, which is not very much. These pillars, the fence, it will be a fence just like this is over here. But the flowers themselves are not. Oh, and then I have not back stitched these windows yet, so I need to back stitch that. But it's very close, and that will be finished. That should be finished during February. This is my 30-minute challenge piece. I work on it 30 minutes every day, at least 30 minutes every day. It usually turns into an hour sometimes. So it should be done, not very much longer. This is, oh, and Victorian Charm was on the kit fabric that came with it, which is 18 count dark blue Aida, and the kit floss that came with it. It was a dimensions kit. This is Day and Night by Long Dog Samplers. Looks like this. I just have a little bit done right here. This church is so interesting, or cathedral, whichever one it is, because it has a separate, what I think is a steeple. It has a separate steeple over here, separate from the church. I just think that's cool. There is a church just down the street from me that has a separate steeple like that, but it was built in the 70s, and so I think that was kind of a popular thing in the 70s. This is where I am so far. I think the colors in that pine tree are so awesome. They're just really cool looking. Little sheep. I work on this on Thursdays. This is 40 count Picture This Plus Valor. And I'm using the called for DMC, 1 strand over 2 fabric threads. Arcade. My Tuesday project. It doesn't show up very well on camera. I had someone ask me, why are you using that fabric? The floss doesn't show up. It does show up better in person than it's showing on here. But I was able to finish this alphabet, put my initials in over here, and then this is the bottom down here, so I'm doing the bottom part of this first tree down here. It's been a really fun to see how this silk shows up on this fabric. It was kind of an experiment to start with, but I really like it. It has its own character, all its own. Very different than everything else I'm working on. This is what it looks like. I am down here working on this tree. I'm right here at the bottom, about to do the bottom part. I have the top part all finished. So this one tree is almost finished. And it's called R-Kade, K-A-D-E. It is on 40 count Picture This Plus conifer, and I'm using silk from Silks For You. That's in a very fall tree colors, green, golds, browns. And then a little bit of another color from Silks For You, that is this color. That's for the little leafy section that goes right across the top-ish. That lighter color is this section right here, and all of the hearts that are in the piece. 1 strand of silk over 2 fabric threads. So 1 over 2. My goal for that was 8 hours in January, and I did meet that goal. My goal for Day and Night was 8 hours in January, and I didn't quite make it. That was the only one I didn't get done. I only got 5 hours done on that, because for some reason Thursdays quite often turn into either have a really bad headache or something else is going on and I don't get any stitching done on Thursdays. It's kind of a weird thing I'm noticing. Victorian Charm, I had a goal to get at least 8 hours on that, and I way surpassed that. I think I got 15 or 16 hours on that altogether in the month of January. There was only 1 day in the month of January that I did not stitch at all. So I was very impressed with myself, and that happened right at the end, the last Thursday in January. I had a nasty headache and couldn't stitch that night, but otherwise I stitched every single day in January, which is kind of a new record for me. What else did I show you? My goal on the Friends and Family Quaker by Linen and Threads was to finish the January section, and I did do that. And the Modern Folk Embroidery, it's called A Family Patchwork. That one wasn't on my, I didn't start that till partway through the month, so that wasn't on my goals list. But this month I would like to keep those two up to date. So I'm hoping to get the February section done on both of those before the end of February. Arcade will be 8 hours again in February. My goal, day and night will also be 8 hours in February. Will be my goal. That's kind of 2 hours every Tuesday for arcade and 2 hours every Thursday for day and night. This is goodness. Band of Roses 1845 Antique Sampler by Cross Stitch Antiques. And I am doing it on 40 count Maritime White by Lakeside with the called for colors, except for it calls for DMC, and this dark blue was 823, but I changed it to a silk so it would have better coverage. It is a Belle Soie 1416. My goal was to finish the top alphabet and the top border, and I did. I made it. Look, I'm on the... Look, Linda, I'm on the second row. And this border up here has these little teal dots at the end of every leaf. Can I just say those were a pain to stitch? A pain, Linda. But this is the only border in the whole piece, and I finished the border. So the border is done on this piece. It has no other border. So I am very proud of myself. I usually work on that on Sundays. My goal was to finish the top row of alphabet and the border, so I met that goal. I think my goal for February will be the second row of alphabet, because I can't always predict how much time I'm going to have on Sunday night to stitch. It's usually only an hour or two, and sometimes, like last night, there was none. No stitching yesterday. So that will be another day in February that I didn't stitch. Oh well. No, that's Words to Live By. Oh dear, where is Words to Live By? It's downstairs. I did finish Words to Live By. Oh, I'm not going to show it to you this time because I either have to end the video and go get it, and then I'd have to edit the video, stitch two videos together, and I don't want to do that. So that will just be your treat for the next video. I'll show you Words to Live By, but I did finish it before the end of January. So it is completely done, all the sections, all done. What did I not show you yet? Let's see. Did I show you? Yeah, I think I did. The January, oh yeah, I already showed you the January card. Okay. The calendar card. Trying to think of what all my whips were. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, a stitching shelf. It'll look like this when it's finished, but I got the version that does not have the medallion in the middle. It just has the stuff that's behind the medallion. I am up here. Nope, I'm over here. My page comes down to about right here. So I have finished these flowers. This, you'll be able to see this bottle of wine sitting on this little table right here. And now I'm working on the edge of this window. And there is a vase sitting on some kind of black pedestal right here. You'll be able to see that, and then part of this window frame is showing up. Oh, maybe I should use that back here. And this is what I have done so far. You can see this black pedestal and this vase sitting on top, and then the edge of this window is starting to show up. My goal on that was 8 hours in January, which is, it takes about an hour to do each 100 by 100 stitch square, and I do stitch by squares. I accidentally made the goal 8 hours instead of 8 squares, but I did accomplish that. I finished 8 squares. But for February, the goal will be 8 squares on this one. I usually work on that on Saturdays, 2 squares per Saturday. And then my other full coverage piece is Disneyland. Oh, my Heaven and Earth Designs, that stitching shelf is on 25 count, even weave, 1 strand of DMC over 1 fabric thread, so 1 over 1. This is how Disneyland is looking so far. I also had an 8-hour goal or 8 squares on this one in January, and I did finish that. I finished this row clear over to here and then was able to start the next row. This is the Matterhorn. This is on 40 count. Picture this plus dwarf. 1 strand of DMC over 2 fabric threads, 1 over 2. And my goal for February will be again 8 squares on that. I do 2 squares on this per Saturday as well. I think that's all the whips. Doesn't feel like it, but I think it is. Oh, I know. Peaceable Kingdom is not up here. Oh, that's also downstairs. I did finish that alphabet that I was 1 over 1 alphabet that I was working on all the way across. And there is 3 little birds, crows, and a squirrel at the end of that alphabet. And then I started on a tree on the bottom section. My goal on that was 8 hours as well. I wanted to get 2 hours in every Saturday, and I did finish my goal on that for January, and you will see it next time I make a video, because I'm not going all the way downstairs to get it. Sorry. I know you're all thinking, no, go get it, but no, I'm not going to, because I have a day off of work. I don't want to be editing a video today. I just want to upload it and not have to edit it. All right, for haul, I had ordered a little scissor fob from Roveras, and it came, and I think it is so cute. It's a little spool of thread, a little flower button up here, and scissors on the bottom. And I think I'm going to use this one in February because it's pink. I like it. That was fun. That is Roveras on Etsy. She has an Etsy store, and she is based in Italy. I also purchased some fabric from a friend of mine who was wanting to pass it along to someone else. This is Lakeside Vintage Lentil, 40 count. And this is Vintage Country Mocha that is also 40 count. 2 great neutral colors. So I was excited to get those nice big pieces of those. I also purchased the Hoity Toity pattern from Long Dog. Oh, I have looked at this for so long. All the people that are stitching on it, I just think it is so gorgeous. But I kept looking at it and thinking, it's a complicated border. You're not gonna... And it's a mirror image. This side of the pattern is exactly the same as this side, so you're gonna have to stitch everything twice. But it is so beautiful. And when I was on Mrs. Sedas Silks ordering the SuperNova hank, she has a silk conversion for this pattern on her site that is the most gorgeous colors. So I ordered that, but it's not here yet. I'll show it to you when it gets here. So not sure, this might be a Mania start. I just love it, it's so pretty. And then I got some Stitchy Kindness. My friend Robin in Virginia is getting rid of all of her overdyed cotton and wanted to pass it along to another stitcher, so she sent it to me. I showed you the box she sent before. Well, she sent another box full of bags of overdyed cotton. I'm so excited. And she also sent me a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine that she was passing along. So wonderful. I can't wait to put all that floss away, see all the colors that I have. And then my friend Becca at My Stitchy Home, she does a Flosstube channel called My Stitchy Home. You should definitely watch her. She sent me this cute card and some floss for my linen and threads project. So nice of you, Becca. Thank you. And then I mentioned last time that I was wanting to start this pattern, and I think I will, on the last Wednesday in February, which is 40 days before Easter, Ash Wednesday. I will start it that day. I think it's a great way to focus on Jesus Christ for the 40 days leading up to Easter. I know there were several of you interested in stitching the same pattern at the same time with me. Join us. And there were a few who commented who have a different pattern of Jesus Christ that wanted to stitch that pattern and stitch along with us. Feel free to join us. I just think it's a beautiful piece. But it's a gold dimensions piece, so of course it's full coverage. Doesn't give me the stitch count, but it will be 12 by 16 on on 18 count Aida. It comes with it's kind of a tan colored fabric and the floss. So otherwise I don't think I should have any other new starts before May 1st for Mania, M-A-Y-N-I-A. And I will be doing, I have 5 or 6 left from last year, I think, by then. And then I'll probably do 5 more whips and the rest will be new starts. But I'm thinking about maybe doing one big piece that has several different sections in it and starting each of the different sections for the new starts for Mania. Not sure. I'll be working on thinking about that, what I want to do. I think that's everything. I hope you have a fabulous Monday and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, I realized I was going to have to edit the video anyway, so nope, upside down. Oh, let's turn the pillow over and do this side. Here is Words to Live By, all finished. Does that help? Nope. Sorry about the sun today. These were the last 2 blocks. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. And then don't count the days, make the days count. So it is finished. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Not sure. And then here is Peaceable Kingdom. I did finish the alphabet that goes clear across, and then those birds, that little squirrel, and then started on this tree, which I was very happy when I counted down, matches up with the border down here, which means the border's in the right place. Hallelujah. Okay, that really is the end. Bye-bye.